morning, y'all. I just want to make a real short video showing you all what it looks like in the morning time. I like to come out here whenever I can, whenever I wake up early enough. I like to see the fog rolling through the mountains in the morning time. And I like it because it's so peaceful. There's less people and noise going on. And also I like it because the morning glories are more out to be bloomed out. See the morning glories. I love the morning glories. Now keep in mind, and I even like the spider webs and stuff on the flowers and trees and stuff like that in the mornings. But keep in mind, I did not plant these morning glories. They just came in here like this. This color did too. I didn't plant these. Used to, all that was around here was just solid white ones. But now I got some that has these colors on them. And I didn't plant these. See down over here. This is the original. Down here is the original morning glories that was around here, was just the solid white ones. There's a spider web. Just like that, those plain ones. Like that. But then, the past few years, and I didn't plant them, there's been other colors starting to come up in these gardens and stuff. There's a white one. They was always white morning glories and stuff when I was growing up. Next to this pond over here on the bank, there still is. And there used to be mint that would grow there too. Look at my trash being way down there. It's already full, which today is Sunday morning. So the garbage man runs on Monday. But look over here on this bank. Next to the pond over here. If you can see it or not. But right through there. These white morning glories that's always bloomed. And there's always been wild mint that used to grow next to that bank over there. Look at the fog coming off the pond and in the mountains. Try to go slower so you guys can see better. I know sometimes I just get carried away and just move the phone around unsteadily real fast. But here's some more morning glories. It's the white ones. It's turned off cooler, which I like. It's nice weather, but it's not started frosting yet. But I'm sure to happen probably this month sometime. There's a white one. I like the look of all the dew and stuff in the morning time too, on all the plants and flowers. And the chickens and the roosters crowing and stuff like that. Sometimes you'll hear owls and stuff like that too. Early in the mornings. It's not that early though. It's about, I don't know, I think it was about 7 something whenever I walked outside. So it's really not that early. See, right here in this yard, this is where this big that big flower patch, even though it's weeded over now. This is where it used to be. There used to be like a little concrete rock pathway right here that separated the flowers that I used to have here. But I transplanted and moved everything from here in the yard except for that little bush because the roots were just too deep, but I couldn't move it. That's a Rosa Sharon. But anyways, I just transplanted and moved everything from over here to over there, and I've started a big old mess over there now. So, yep. There's some little tiny mushrooms, little itty bitty ones, right here, growing in the yard. Little tiny mushrooms, little itty bitty mushrooms. I love mushrooms. I mean, I love to eat them, the ones you can eat, and I also love just the look of mushrooms. Anything that looks enchanting looking or whatever, or storybook looking. I don't know if you can see it or not, and I don't want the phone to go dead if I try to scroll in on it, but there's a little tiny plastic piece of pizza that's upside down like a toy right in there in the pond, little triangle. Now right through here is usually where the fish will make, you can't really see it, but there's like holes deep in there under on the bottom of the pond, and that's where they'll make their nest. The fish and stuff will when they start nesting. But yeah, look at how foggy and stuff it is right in through here. It's starting to go away, but it's still there. Whew. I didn't fool with that fairy garden this year. I'm just so burnt out on everything. Didn't really want to fool with it. And as you can see, I don't ever let the few trees or bushes that I have in my yard get very big. I'm always cutting them and stuff. You know, I don't let them get too big or nothing. Because I got so many power line poles and stuff above me. My house and stuff in my side of the yard. So, I don't let nothing get too big. But yeah, I just wanted to do an early morning walk. And show y'all what it looks like in the mornings. And see my neighbor over here. He's got a different type of morning glory than I have that's growing over there in my yard. I think his is really pretty. His kind of looks like it has a star shape to it with purple tips on the white. Real pretty. We'll walk out here and kind of look at his sunflowers again this morning, if y'all want to. I still got so much drainage and stuff going on inside right now. My nose and lungs or whatever. I know, ain't gonna bother you, Dot. Ain't gonna bother you. And yeah, I do have these signs up for a reason. If I don't invite you, don't show up. It wouldn't be good for you. And I don't invite nobody, so don't show up. I got my trash pile out here. I always have a ton of trash every week. But yeah, he's got his sunflowers growing here on the fence. I think they look gorgeous and beautiful here. I won't walk all the way down there, but I'll just walk you over to to this one. They say, supposedly, is what I was recently told, that sunflowers face the way, whatever direction of the sun. But they are beautiful. Alright, I'm gonna walk you back around this way and then cut it off. I'm gonna walk you around to the other side of my house. I don't really have that much flowers anymore. Or nothing. I need to still move and transplant some of these flower hostas or whatever. And there is a few flowers, but they're not bloomed out where it's turning fall. Here's another bush or shrub or whatever I got. Like I said, I cut it down. I don't ever let it get too big. Don't ever let it get too big because of the... Well, there's not many power lines other than right there in the front. But the power lines and stuff. And then over here is this white tip hosta. It's dying though. That's where I left off from transplanting this year on the hostas and stuff and flowers. No, I did leave some in here. This front porch and stuff's got so much mold and mildew and stuff. But I left some hostas just by accident in here. And this vine, no matter if you cut it down, it will come back. So it's the only thing I really left. But it don't matter. I just plan on, as long as I'm having to live here, maybe probably won't do nothing else this fall. Everything needs to be weeded down, but as far as transplanting and stuff, if I'm still living here at this house next spring, that's probably what I'll do, is finish transplanting the rest of these hostas here in the front to that one big pile in the back. And they go all the way around here. So I still got a lot of work to do next spring. And like I said, there is some flowers in here, but not many. Everything's overgrown. And I don't know what kind of bush or shrub that is. But I don't know. I think I'll have a hard time transplanting that or digging that up. I don't really see that it really does much of nothing. So I'll probably just have to cut that up. Keep cutting it up or whatever. Just kind of maintain it. And then there's a rose bush in there that I'll have to transplant next spring. And I probably have trouble transplanting that one because it was attached to that little shrub. I don't know what this little weed is, but I know the bees and especially the butterflies, they love this stuff. Whatever it is. And it grows all over the place here in Kentucky. If you let it overgrow. As you can see, it's overgrown all over the place down here around my house. Everything is messed up and overgrown here. Oh well. It is what it is. And this right here needs to be, it'll come back. It's just like, I think it was a raspberry bush with that one blueberry bush there. And then there's some more of that purple stuff. When it starts warming up though here in the daytime, you'll see all kinds of butterflies and stuff on this weed right here. Right next to that back porch there. It's falling apart. I had bought a month or so ago some more Dollar Tree Clorox there. I was wanting my house to be finished pressure washed, but oh well, there it goes, there it sits. I don't know if you can see those right there, little reflective butterflies there on my kitchen window. My youngest daughter ordered those off of, I think, Temu or something. they're supposed to, when the sun's shining through them, they're supposed to reflect like a rainbow. I thought that was pretty neat. But anyways, just wanted to do a little walk around with you guys in the morning. The leaves on the trees are definitely already starting to change and stuff, turn brown and orange and yellow for fall. They're just doing it faster this year than I've ever realized that they've ever done it before. There's a spider web in between those power lines. I don't know if you can see it or not. I always thought that was cool looking though. The spider webs in the morning on the plants and the power line poles and stuff. I just think it's neat. And the spiders' webs, if they get torn down, they'll start right back up. Just like on that old TV cartoon show or whatever, Charlotte's Web. Those, I think they're called spinner spiders or whatever. The ones that write, like Charlotte did on Charlotte's Web or whatever. Well, I don't think she was the spider Charlotte or was the pig Charlotte? I can't remember. It's been so long since I've watched that cartoon. It was a good cartoon though. I think this Charlotte was the spider. I think she was the one that always would like write little sayings and stuff for the pig. It's a cute little cartoon, old movie. I just haven't watched it in years. I've seen some of those spiders around here before though that actually scared me to death the first time I seen one. It was over there underneath that back porch, and it was a huge spider. There's this spider web right there. I don't know if you can tell it or not. But it was a huge spider. It was like a bright looking yellow and black spider. So I thought where it was brightly colored like that, because that's usually the way it goes, I thought it was poisonous. But I didn't know, but that's what it was. And it was like blocking that. It had made its web some way on that back porch on the steps there. You had to like pretty much cross its web to get to it, and it was at least like 1 or 2 inches big, the spider was itself. So it was pretty scary at first until I figured it out that it wasn't poisonous. And I have seen before, I've only seen one once, but I have seen a black widow spider before too. You know, the black ones with the red, bright red looking hourglass on their stomachs or whatever, or their backs or whatever. But that was years ago, whenever we first moved into this house over here, back whenever I was married. And I forgot who it was, but anyways, they was working underneath the house there on something whenever we first moved over here. And one of them people, I think it was my ex to be honest, but I think he seen it and he told me to come and look. And it was like right by this door underneath the house. That was years and years ago though, so like over 21 years ago. But we seen it like right in that doorway there to the underneath part of the house. It was one of those black widow spiders. And then I have seen brown recluse, but now I couldn't tell you the identification, even if I have seen one, even if to this day, if I seen one again or something, because they're just so hard for me to look at their identification and tell you what's what or whatever. But we have those all over the place, and that's even scarier because those spiders are probably, those brown recluse spiders are some of the most poisonous spiders there is here in, well, not just eastern Kentucky or Kentucky, but they are the most poisonous spiders. They're on one of the top most poisonous spiders in the world, and also the nation or whatever. There's some huge spider webs. You can't see it, but And I can't go in no more right now, because if I did, this phone would probably cut off. But there's some huge spider webs up there in the mountains. I can see them from here, attached to some of those trees and stuff. There's some big ones. You know, they have to be over 2 or 3 feet wide for me to be able to see them from down here. Those spider webs and stuff. But now brown recluse spiders, I don't really think that they spin very big webs or nothing. I don't think that they're known for that. They're just, I think from what I remember, that's why they're so hard to identify, is because my porch is falling apart. That's what y'all hearing me. You see my flip-flops I got on, and got grass all over them. You can see everything. All these boards need to be replaced. But anyways, brown recluse spiders are so tiny from what I remember. And you can't always see them at times, because a lot of times, every time I've ever seen one, and I think I probably have some in my house right now, to be honest about it, because my house stays so damp and it's got so much mold and mildew and black mold in it. I've always had a bad bug problem in my house. Not really with roaches or nothing like that, but I have with, like, years and years ago, I used to have a bad ladybug problem whenever I first moved into this house. And then that kind of stopped. I don't know why, but it kind of stopped, which I didn't mind the ladybugs, but now my daughters did, because I don't know why, but they're so scared of insects and stuff like that, which I think all females, or most females, are scared of, like, spiders. I'm scared of spiders still yet, to be honest, but but anyways, they're like petrified of the weirdest things. My girls are both like that. I'm not like that, but they are. They're like scared to death of butterflies. I love butterflies. They're scared to death of ladybugs. So they're scared to death of bees. And I love all those three. I love ladybugs, butterflies, and bees. But they're scared to death of them things. And obviously they're scared to death of spiders. See, I don't even let this Rose of Sharon tree get that big either. I keep everything cut down really small. I used to years ago, and then I transplanted them too. I used to have flowers and hostas going all from the pond up there on my side, all the way down to the road here. But over the years, I've just transplanted things and lost a lot of things. When I was growing up too as a child, I wasn't the first one who started this. But probably the only 2 trees that I have that are Rosa Sherns, or whatever 3 trees live, they probably did come from a start of my granny's, my dad's mom's. And years ago, whenever I was a child, my dad had that pond dug up, and they would put the mud over here in my yard from that pond. And so some of those Rosa Sharon trees would get covered up. But before all that, whenever I was younger, my granny, whenever this used to be their gardening area over here where my house is in this yard, there used to be Rosa Sharon trees from that pond all the way down this row, right through here, all the way to the mailboxes. There was Rosa Sharon trees, but after they had that pond dug out whenever I was a child, there was probably only like 2 or 3 that made it. And I think that they came from my granny's when she planted them, those Rosa Sharon trees. But anyways, back to the brown recluse spiders and stuff. Even if a person gets bit, now thank God I ain't never been bit by one or nothing like that, because I've heard they're pretty painful, and the antidote and stuff that you have to get for that, I think you have to be flown out of here. It's the same thing, I'm pretty sure, with snakes and stuff, because you have to be flown out of here, and I think you have to either I think you gotta go to Louisville for stuff like that. I don't think you can get it at Lexington, but I could be wrong. Walk over here. If I see how beautiful, see, we almost missed that. See how beautiful, and a different color completely. And I didn't even know those over here. Look at these morning glories right here. I'm sorry, guys. I go all over the place whenever I talk. That's why I write down stuff a lot of times. That's just the way my mind's always functioned. I'm probably diagnosed with something that I ain't been diagnosed with or nothing. But I ramble on about everything. I'll slip and fall and unalive myself. But anyways, I know I'm stepping on this. Trying to show you how gorgeous. I know it comes off as purple on the camera because this phone that I use sucks. But these are more blue. These are like sapphire looking blue right here. These morning glories. And look at them. They are all over the place right here before you get to the gardens. They're everywhere. So beautiful. They're everywhere. Railroad high. You can even see in the blooms here, there's like pink and white mixed in there. Look at how beautiful that is. See? We would have missed it. That's gorgeous. They got big old screws where they've been working on the railroad tracks. All up and through here. But yeah, look at how gorgeous that is. The color, it comes off as purple. It's not purple though, guys. It's like a sapphire looking blue. Those morning glories are. That's absolutely gorgeous. Which I guess you might be able to kind of see because where that water bottle's been thrown there. It's pretty much very similar to the color that's on that water bottle. Those blue ones. And I'll show you, I'll walk y'all down here, but on down through here, you start getting into the dark looking purple ones. You start getting into the purple looking morning glories. But these are blue. Those are beautiful. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I'll walk you down here though, so you can kind of see the difference maybe. That's about right there where it starts from the purple into the blue. But I'll walk you down here so you can see for sure. Yeah, I didn't even know it, man, that they had. I know it looks purple on camera, but I promise you it's blue. This phone sucks that I gotta use. They're blue. They're all over the place right through there. And right here is where it starts in mixing from the blue to the purple, which you can kind of see if you can look back there. That in the back looks like a blue, and this in the front looks like a purple. Railroad people put their water bottles and their trash in the railroad tracks. See, you can kind of tell right there. There's a blue one. This is where the purple starts. That's gorgeous. See, the purple's pretty too. Purple isn't my favorite color though. I like all colors, but purple is my oldest daughter's favorite color. And then pink is my youngest daughter's favorite color. Now me, I more or less I like all colors to a point, but as far as my favorites, I'm more into blues and greens. Blues and greens are my favorite color. But you can kind of tell the difference whenever they're sitting side by side each other. That there's blue ones, and then there's purple. See, look at them side by side like that, you can kind of tell. And there's purple ones all in the garden too. I just love morning glories. They're one of my favorite little flowers. And there's purple all down through there, going all the way across the railroad tracks, all the way up to all my other neighbors up above me. There's purple. But that's just gorgeous. Isn't that lovely? I think it is. Yeah, them railroad workers put their trash everywhere and didn't pick it up. Guess they didn't care. But yeah, look at that. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'll try to walk down a little bit to show you the insides maybe if I can without falling. See, this is a blue one even though it looks purple right now. And this is a purple one. So it looks like. That is absolutely gorgeous. There's a blue one. Beautiful. Alright, let me walk back up here. Well, I'm glad we got to see that, you all. I liked it anyways. And as far as I'm concerned, that's all that matters. So whatever. But yeah, that's a nice little sight to see. Sun's trying to come up, I think, in between those clouds over there. Yes, that's amazing. Or I think it is anyways. It's pretty amazing how beautiful those morning glories are. But anyways, we'll start talking a little bit before I end this video because this video is going to be a long one and I thought it was going to be short. But, not fall down through here. Talk about the little brown recluse spiders a little bit more if y'all want to. And I'll get down here for a second. I don't want to fall where I'm wearing flip-flops. But, yeah. So, a lot of times whenever you see those brown recluse spiders, I don't know what it is, but every time I've ever seen one, they're always in lights, like light fixtures in your house. And they love to be in the inside of your house, from what I've noticed. Looks like it's going to be a gorgeous day, because you can kind of see the clouds are trying to peek through there. But, I think the sun's over through there trying to come out. But yeah, every time I've ever seen one, they have been in the lights so you can't see them. Because they'll be like right up in a light fixture. Or they'll come down. They don't really make webs from what I can tell or nothing. But they will come like on one of their spiderweb strings or whatever. They will come down through that light fixture and you won't even see it. Because they're not very big at all. Brown recluse spiders aren't. So, but I mean, I could be wrong because, like I said, I'm not very good at identifying the right species whenever it comes to anything really, spiders or snakes or anything like that. Now, here's another rosas shern bush that's in there and all that mess. I transferred that. I think I did that this year or last year when I can't remember. And they actually got that one over there that's left, the only one left. It's got more like a purple looking flowers that grows on it. This one right here has more of a darker looking, pink looking flowers that grows on it. I'll walk back around here because I might be around there. Might be another one like in this garden somewhere that I don't know about or forgot about. But I know this other one that I had to leave because I couldn't dig it up. It has more of a light pink looking flower that grows on it. And also, I've seen white on it before too. So you just never know what you're going to get. And I don't know how plant breeding like that works. But yeah, I have seen light looking pink ones on this one before. I think I have seen dark looking pink ones on it. And I have seen white on it before. So, I don't know. But anyways, you guys, I'm going to get off of here. And this video is just so long, and I'm sorry I bored y'all to death. But yeah, every time I've ever seen a brown and coast spider, it's been on the inside of my house. So, and it's been like in the lights and stuff like that. And ever since I've lived here, another thing about what kind of bugs and stuff that's been bad in my house, and I don't know if it's because of the moisture or what it is, but and my youngest daughter, she's like probably the worst one for it, being scared to death about insects and stuff. I know she was asking me the other day, she's like, Mom, why do we have so many of them silverfish in our house? Can't you get rid of them? So if y'all know how to get rid of them, tell me in the comments. Because we have a ton of them on the inside of our house. We always have for 21 years now that we've lived here. Same age as my oldest daughter. But now I'm going to really get off of here, you guys. Y'all have a great day. And I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.